you think the Big Ten is overvalued?
I do, but again, when you have four teams that play quality level football and the rest are in the hinterlands, it's really hard to have a good evaluation. And the committee group clearly likes a school that only has zero losses or one loss, i.e., Indiana and Penn State. But the idea that Illinois is a ranked team, pretty laughable to me.
Yeah, and look, I'd like to nitpick at this more because Penn State really hadn't done much at 10-1. We talked about where they are in the grand scheme of things. The Indiana schedule conundrum. I think Oregon and Ohio State, I don't think anybody has a problem with them based on their resume and what they've done. But you can't really pick at a lot of this, Paul, because again, there's 12 teams. I think Boise State is incredibly overvalued based on their resume and what they've done. But I just don't think we can get too deep into it because you got 12 teams. 12 teams have to get in. You can't just go like here. But I've always been of the thought, just hell with it. Put in who you want. I mean, if you legitimately think Alabama or Ole Miss could beat Indiana, then throw them in instead. I don't think it needs to be so resume driven.
Man, you've been around college sports a long time. That's just not the way it works. I mean, but I mean, I can't get that upset. I mean, last year, you think about the Florida State versus Alabama, Georgia. I mean, that was a real debate. TCU Baylor 10 years ago. This is not really a debate. I can't stand up and scream and holler that an Ole Miss team that had a chance to finish the season and then
Yeah.
loses to a 5-1. In Alabama, listen, I spent most of my life in Alabama. I can't fight for them. I'm not going to. And I know some people will say, well, yeah, I would argue for Alabama to get in at 0 and 12. Well, no, I wouldn't. To me, they cost them. I mean, they didn't even if they had even been competitive, Matt, but they were not even competitive to a team that lost 34-3 to Texas.
Well, that was the thing this morning as we were prepping for Get Up and the reaction maybe to the Alabama ranking. Well, it's like they weren't. It'd be different if they lost game-winning field goal to Oklahoma, and it was just a remarkable finish. They got blown out at Oklahoma, and so there's a lot left on the table. But I still think, Paul, we live in a world where a three-loss team could get in.
Yeah, I think Georgia is the best of that group. Obviously, they're in the SEC game, and you can't keep Georgia out now.
I might turn